I like it when you call me Big Papa. Throw the hands in the air.
If you're a true player. Yeah. So, why did women wear underwear with flowers?
Did you wink at him?
Yeah. We're recording.
Go for it then.
Oh, okay. Why did women wear underwear with flowers on them?
Why, Alan? Do tell us.
Please tell me why.
To memorialize all the faces that were buried there.
Actually, I like that one. That was pretty good.
That was also
okay
brought
with
to you. That was brought to you by Scotty Too Hottie.
Scott did well.
There were some funny ones this week.
Yeah. He just sent me that first part, and I was already laughing, like, oh, this is going to be good. Yeah. So, welcome back, Weekenders, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Weekend from A to Z. You know, I'm going to actually just stop saying the episode numbers because I've started to realize, like, I mess them up as I put them up because I'm, like, 1 or 2 behind. So, this is just another episode of The Weekend from A to Z. It covers the weekend up to August the 31st, 2020. So, if you have any questions or comments, you may feel free to email us at theweekenda2z@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram at A2Z Past that, you can go to anchor.fm/A2Z where you will find all 11 locations for our podcast and YouTube.
Yeah. Hey, Alan, if you point like right down there to tell them to subscribe and click the bell. Yeah, maybe a little bit more.
Oh, wait,
down.
no. The bell button is down here.
All right, down
hey,
there.
Just click. You know, we'd really appreciate it if you subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Right here.
And if you happen to hit, the bell icon, that'd be great. And, maybe give us a thumbs up. That'd be awesome too.
Leave us a
Instead of all
comment,
this
man.
stupid pointing.
Yeah.
Thank you. We just found you a new position. I love it. Hans needs to be doing that every week. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe next week he'll do this, but not today.
So, I've got some tech news we can get started. Oh, wait, hold on. First off, I am Alan.
I'm Justin.
And I'm Scott.
JT is no longer with us today. No, he's just not here today.
He's at the doctor.
No. No. He's got his sister has a birthday party today. So
Yeah, he had a family obligation.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday too. Shout out to the sister.
happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday. Okay.
When I start singing, that's when everybody cuts it off. I see where it's going.
Yeah. So tech news. I got a lot of stuff to cover today. So tech news. SkyDrive Incorporated in Japan has had its first successful test flight of its flying car.
What does this flying car look like? I thought that we had flying cars. They're called helicopters.
No. This is like a single passenger looking, like a personal autocraft almost. Autocraft. A personal aircraft.
Like scientific people that work in aeronautics and stuff like that, people would always ask, like, well, what about flying cars? And they're like, we have them. They're called helicopters. They do everything that a flying car would do.
Yeah.
I just hope they look like the ones in the second episode of Star Wars. And when we get the flying cars, will the highways be separated? And then you can go or do we even have highways?
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
I would think that once we get to that point, people are just going to follow suit for the most part. Like, hey, if everybody's going in the same direction, because I mean, at the same time, now you got to sit there and think about like, aerodynamics and cutting air, saving fuel. So I'm going to follow everybody else in this line.
Slipstreams.
I think slipstreams, yeah, like the geese.
The geese.
Yeah, so it's like, well, I'm going to follow this guy because we're kind of heading the same direction, and instead of like blazing my own path. I guess theoretically, I mean, not theoretically, you could, but just, now are you actually saving fuel that way? Not really.
Mm-hmm. Do we even use fuel at that time? Maybe some dilithium crystals.
Maybe. I have
we have to find dilithium crystals.
First off, we do have to find dilithium crystals. What is going on? Apple has suspended Epic Games' account and set PUBG as a featured game. So the whole Apple versus Fortnite issue still going on. They've Apple has suspended Fortnite Epic Games' account, the makers of Fortnite, and as a petty move, they've actually set up. I saw it the other day on the App Store. They set PUBG as a featured game. So if you don't know, PUBG is essentially the exact same thing as Fortnite. Just the graphics are different, very different actually. PUBG, I think, is, to me, it seems more realistic than Fortnite. Fortnite's more cartoony, but it's essentially it's the same type of game, just different wrappers. Also, in
Haven't
that
both of those games kind of
My
fallen
name
out.
was Scott Bailey, and I came.
falling
to
out.
the
What do you
song.
mean?
No, like they just like they weren't that popular anymore. Like they were super popular 2 years ago,
They were
but they're
super
not
popular.
like the go-to game anymore.
I don't think so. I mean, I couldn't tell you.
Mhm.
When I hung out this weekend as part of my weekend, we just watched the kids play Fortnite for like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
All right.
So I mean,
Mhm.
I guess it's still popular. They didn't
All
have
right.
a whole lot of queue times or anything like that. The queue times were pretty short to get to the next match. So
Yeah, my son stopped playing Fortnite like over a year ago just because he was, he was like, I'm done with it. It's not as fun as it used to be. But that was kind of at the height of everything. And it was kind
Right.
of, and it was like queue times to get into matches and stuff like that. And he's like, I forget it. I'll go play something else. And he started playing, I think, Overwatch or something like that again. I can't remember.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, Apple has also blocked a Facebook app that called out the 30% App Store tax. So yeah, Apple's in a lot of hot water. Past that, Apple Watch Series 6 is imminent and will probably arrive before the iPhone 12. I don't have a date for it. Imminent, yes.
What are the features on the 6?
I don't know. Everything's kind of speculation so far. But I mean, like the always on display is going to be one thing for sure, since the Series 5 has that. Sleep tracking natively built in. But I mean, you can have sleep tracking now if you have iOS 14 and watch OS 7.
I had a question, and it was, dang it, keep going. Oh, when are we getting to the Dick Tracy years where you can actually make a video call on your phone?
On your watch, you mean?
Yeah. Sorry,
I don't know.
Switch topic, sir. Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for. I feel like that should have already been happening.
I feel like it's right around the corner.
Goodness, it's 2020. People, come on.
Yeah.
At least have one good thing come out of the year.
Yeah.
For as long as we've had like FaceTime and stuff around, I'm surprised it doesn't get used as much. Like I rarely use FaceTime if I make a call with somebody.
The only time I've ever really used FaceTime is just like, hey, we're talking with mom on the patio, and let's send her a video right now of the baby, like live, so we'll FaceTime her. But past that, it's never been like. I remember when FaceTime used to be like a huge deal. Like, I can FaceTime people, but
do you really want to look at them?
Well, it's one of those things. Like we never. I always thought it was going to be, my idea of like video calls and stuff like that from like sci-fi movies and stuff was always like it's always on. Like you don't have a choice to pick up a phone and call somebody, just voice to voice. You have to. It's always going to be FaceTime or it's always going to be something like that. So, I mean, but, nobody really predicted a phone. So, like a smartphone. So, but I thought FaceTime would have been much more in use. And
it's because people don't want them to say, hey, I'm at the doctor's office when the velvet curtain's going on in the background.
This is true. Well, I mean, it's like with all my Zoom calls and stuff, like I've stopped turning my camera on since I'm working from home, like months ago. Like it was novel at the time, but it's like, I don't need to see you guys looking back at me, and I can 100%,
like we do for 3 hours on Mondays.
Watch it.
Yeah.
Well, but it's one of those, but it's different because we're doing that. Like when I play like D&D with friends and stuff online, we have cameras on so we can see that. But like for business and stuff, nah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's the same thing, even for work here. I mean, there's been a few meetings where, the presenter was like, hey, we'd like everybody to turn their cameras on now. kind of thing. And I think that was just more of like a participation thing. So like, hey, we can make sure you're actually paying attention and not just like, I logged in, you know, just to show that I'm present, but I'm not actually listening.
Dude, I
with
don't put a shirt on till like 11 o'clock in the morning. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I got like a t-shirt handy, like, you know, by me or whatever, but I don't put it, I'm not putting it on till like 11:30.
I'm just looking to see what time it was. We got plenty of time, folks.
Yeah, you're fine.
So after that, I've got Elon Musk shows Neuralink BrainLink implant working on a live pig.
And what
What do you
does
guys
this
think about that?
what does it do?
So Neuralink was supposed to be, well, not supposed to be. It is his way of showing like, hey, we can actually interface a computer chip with a live brain. So we can roll this out in humans at some point, kind of thing. And
Only the rich will have it.
I guess his main thing was like, oh, this will be like revolutionary for spinal injuries and stuff. So if we can like, I guess, go around the human system of, hey, the nerves don't work anymore here. Well, now you have a computer chip. The computer chip can override everything and just go
Remap
hey.
it.
Yeah, but I mean, didn't we see that movie Upgrade? Wasn't that the same?
We did see the movie Upgrade.
Yeah.
I think that's my superpower.
I love
Upgrade.
that movie. That movie was
good.
awesome.
Was that a Netflix show or was that out like in the movies?
HBO.
Upgrade.
It was it was an HBO original, and it was just a movie, and awesome. I've seen it a couple of times, like as flipping through like on FX for some reason, but it is. Man, it's a great movie. It's an absolute. If it were on Netflix, it would have gotten a lot more play. Like it would have gotten a lot more notice and notification. But it's what a great movie. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it as long as it's one of those things where, I mean, if they're using it for, you know, for people that have spinal injuries and things like that, and they'll probably not get back 100% of movement, but it helps them to get back some kind of movement, or, you know, turns them from like a quadriplegic to a paraplegic or something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's science moving in the right direction.
There's an upset baby on its way.
And as soon as they do, you know, as soon as they start using stuff like that for like communication and stuff like that, like, you know, I don't think that's the stuff that needs to be the norm. We don't all need to be cyborgs. Do you know what you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but I mean, if it's one of those things where, do what?
I just wanted, I want to be some of the Borg.
But, you know, it's one of those things. I mean, it's the difference of having, you know, somebody who has a prosthesis that has like sensors that touch where their arm used to be, and it functioning like that, versus having it in your brain, you know, in your head or whatever, so it can maybe work better, or, you know, not be as clunky or whatever. I think that's fine. I mean, I'm
interested in having the computer implanted in my brain so that I can actually access data without having to do other thing thinking about it.
I'm sure that's what it would come to at some point, but I just don't. We already have computers in our hands. Everybody's got one.
They have. It's not like we used it for good things either.
No. And at the same time, like, do we really need that to, you know, now it's on all the time? I mean, these are already on all the time. Do we need it on all the time to where we can't turn it off? It's accessing the network all the time, even when we're sleeping. And, you know, how much bandwidth is it using at that point? How much of our brain are we using at that point if we have a computer chip that's just live?
I definitely need help, though, in that area. So, you know, it's what it is for me. Any more?
We only use 10% of our brain.
That's amazing. What is it? It's not? I hear that. Surely,
no, not at all. Not at all. It's been debunked years ago. What was that movie? Lucy, that came out a while ago, with, oh God, what's her name? With Scarlett Johansson. Morgan Freeman was in it, but that was the whole premise, is like, you only use 10% of your brain. And They had some drug that would boost it up, and she ended up becoming a
Turbocharge.
computer. I don't know. It was real dumb, but no. But it's no, that myth has been debunked a long time ago. It's we may not be using 100% of our brain at all the time, but they've done research with MRIs, and they can see the different parts of your brain firing when you're doing stuff, and it's way more than 10%. It's a myth that started like in the 60s or something, and it was a comment that somebody had made. It's like, oh, we only use, humans probably only use 10% of the brains, and it's just become this like urban legend.
I think I only used like
movie
15.
was Lucy. It was weird. I mean, because I think once she got from like, I think once she got to like 30% of the brain, I was like, okay, that would be kind of cool to be able to, manipulate some things. But then after she got past that, it's like her whole attitude completely changed. She was not a person anymore.
Yeah, no, it was a dumb movie.
Yeah. LG, whoops, I almost skipped one. Amazon announces Halo, a fitness band and app that scans your body and voice. So basically, it's similar to Whoop, the Whoop strap. Very similar to the Whoop strap. Same like fitness-looking band that doesn't have a screen on it. You access the app's features from the phone, does sleep tracking, all that stuff. It doesn't have so Whoop is like $30 a month with its subscription. So I mean, the band is not free, but you don't pay for the band. You're paying for the subscription.
Service.
So when you pay your $30 a month, you get the band included.
Some pretty genius stuff on their part.
Yes. However, the Amazon version is like, well, if you get the early access, it's like $65, and then it's like $2 a month or $3 a month for a subscription.
Subscriptions, people, that's how you make your money right there. That's insane.
Yeah.
But it's better if I'm paying for something monthly, I better get something out of it other than just the normal watch stuff. Maybe scrub my back, shave my back hair, something like that.
Yeah. Well, I'm interested in it. I can't justify spending $30 a month for a subscription, for a fitness subscription that's just a band that's going to read, sleep tracking and how many calories you burn, your heart rate, and all that stuff. VO2 max. It's going to read that stuff, but $30 a month for that? I mean, is that the Whoop
does give you a recovery, which is nice.
It does, and it tells you like, hey, if you fall asleep or if you go to sleep, an hour earlier, you'll be this much, So I think that like I know everybody's heard the Whoop strap via like Joe Rogan. That's the way I heard about it.
Hey, Whoop, send us one. I'll try it out.
Well, this is Amazon. This is Amazon's Halo. So
Hey.
I have already signed up to try and see if I can get into the early access thing because I'm interested just to go check it out.
With the Halo one, do you get a nice little arsenal?
No,
No?
no Super Spartans, no Spartan soldiers.
I'm paying monthly for it.
Yeah. But
Is
I don't
the
know.
program called Master Chief at least?
It's not called Master Chief. It's not even
That's
called John
bullshit.
117. I know. It's a crock. The Spartan program, but at least the Spartan 2 program. Call it that. Something. Come on, guys. So many missed opportunities.
So
LG has announced a battery-powered air purifier mask.
Okay.
Would you buy it?
sell me on it.
It purifies the air for you.
What does it look like?
It looks like a regular mask with like little things on both sides, almost like
you hear
the CDC mask. They have the two little hexagon-looking things out of the sides. It looks kind of similar to that. I don't know. Battery powered. What am I going to do? Another thing to charge up?
Do you have a constant humming in your ears all day long because of the fan blowing?
More than likely.
More than likely, yeah.
No, no, I probably wouldn't use anything like that. It would all depend on what it has in its, what kind of filter is it? Is it a HEPA filter? Is it a positive pressure? Is it, is it negative pressure? What's the, there's lots of questions that I would have on it, but no, I wouldn't just be the first person to sign up for testing something like that.
Yeah. YouTube is testing picture-in-picture on the iPhone.
Picture.
That's good.
So, like, you can
finally.
actually be like, watching YouTube and sending a text message at the same time, but still be able to see the video.
That'd be great. I wish they would do that on the iPad because there's a lot of
So-
times. Go ahead.
It is on the iPad if you're running iOS 14.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not.
Not on
'cause
the
it's
iPhone.
not. It's not out yet. And I think what iOS 14 comes out like October probably,
Yeah, I think October sometime, right?
which is fine with me because that's the one thing that it's. I like to watch YouTube videos and stuff, but like
Yeah.
if I'm on my iPad and somebody texts me
Mhm.
and I don't have my phone next to me, it's nice to be able to go through and just grab the thing, the thing. But there are other. It's weird that other like streaming services have done that forever, like Netflix and Prime and HBO Go. It's like if I get a text message and I touch on that text message, it immediately shrinks that screen down so I can go do other stuff and continues to play my show.
Yeah. So for other news I've got, Chadwick Boseman, as we all know, has, dude.
Yeah, that was hard.
JT sent that.
No, I sent it.
Oh, you sent it. Yeah. Sorry, you sent it. And I was on my way home, and I just pulled it in the garage, and I was like, "What?" And I almost thought, like, this has got to be a joke or something. This has got to be some weird.
And I had found out, like, before I sent it to you, I had found out, like, maybe 5 minutes earlier from a different text thread that I'm on with a bunch of friends, and somebody put on there, well, 2020 just got worse, and I saw the thing and I clicked on it. I was like, that's got to be bullshit. And so I snopesed it. Like I immediately started like Googling like Chadwick Boseman, and the first stories that were popping up were like it had been reported 10 minutes earlier, and I was like, holy crap. So that's when I sent it to you guys. I mean, dude, he had what was it, colon cancer?
Mm-hmm.
43 years old, colon cancer. When he found out he had it 4 years ago,
2016.
and
Stage 4. Yeah.
he had stage 3 when he got it. When he found out he had stage 3, and it just like never went away. Man, what a loss to the entertainment and acting community. He was absolutely amazing. The roles that he played were phenomenal, and he played some
42.
well, he was Jackie Robinson in 42, which is amazing in and of itself. And then he was in the one of the highest grossing movies ever with Black Panther, and it was and Black Panther became such a phenomenon in the in the movie world because it spoke to an audience that had been neglected for so long in such a huge way, without trying to dumb anything down or it being considered a black movie or anything like that. It was just a superhero movie.
Yeah,
and the characters happened to be black.
I remember seeing on Facebook a bunch of my friends who are black saying, I'm taking my son to this movie again. And you would see him a week later taking my son to the movie again. What an impact. Yeah. There's very few deaths and I don't even know why this bothered me so much, but it really hit me for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, it hit me too. I think because he's so young. I mean, he's a year older than me. He's 4 or 5 years younger than you. It's right in our wheelhouse, and he seemed kind of larger than life. Do you know what I mean? He was, and just seemed like such a nice dude. Like, never heard anything bad about him. He was smart. He was like one of those old school actors that kept his private life super private because he wanted to be known for his acting, not for his personal life. He wasn't somebody who sought fame. He was famous, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But he wasn't one of those people who was out trying to seek fame and, I'm famous and so I'm going to go off my name. He was just a great actor that was just a great actor.
So I don't know if y'all know the day he died on, which is kind of an interesting little twist. So
go ahead.
He died on my sister's birthday.
Really? The one that I had was he played Jackie Robinson, right? He died on Jackie Robinson's birthday.
Yeah.
That's a
kinda
cool
weird.
little, yeah. Yeah. So, one other, I don't mean to cut it short,
No,
but
go
just
for
kind of, this reminded me that, like I said, these don't hit me very often, but Robin Williams was another one. And I can't think of anybody else that really, and I don't know, like, seriously, 2016 is his big break in, and then, I don't know, I think maybe it's because of the how honorable he was. I consider that kind of honorable, keeping it yourself to yourself, and then and playing another person on screen, and just being yeah, I don't know, I'm just still trying to make sense of it, I guess.
Well, and everything that he said when it was, when he was winning awards, or he was on, when he was on, on talk shows or whatever, he was, when speaking to the wider world, or speaking about, being a black actor or a young black actor or whatever, everything that he said was from the heart. It was not one of those things. I never thought that it was a, where he was, everything seemed extremely genuine. It didn't seem like it was off the cuff, or it's whatever. Like he he seemed to me to understand his role in the greater narrative of, Black Hollywood, or an actor of color being able to be renowned for that. And he never said anything that felt heavy-handed. It was always just with extreme generosity and gratitude with the way he spoke about his life and the things that he was doing. So this one hurt like, I think you're right, this one hurt like when Prince passed, or like when David Bowie passed, and you're just like, I have no idea what to think. But yeah.
I was talking to my sister a little bit this Sunday, and she was pretty upset about it. I mean, being that she's in that Hollywood area,
Mm-hmm.
and in Hollywood, and
I can't imagine.
Another cool story, I guess, when he was trying to get into college, he had a sponsor trying to locate money for him, and Denzel Washington actually sponsored him going through acting school.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. I didn't know that.
And listening to that story, if you can look it up on YouTube, I saw it a couple times, but the personality that Denzel Washington is talking about, hey, I went to the premiere not to see the movie, but to get my money back. That was pretty funny.
That's funny.
Yeah.
It kind of lightened it up a little bit.
Nice. Yeah. Project Power was still number one on Netflix. However, the spot has been claimed by the Netflix horror flick called One BR. One Bedroom is actually what the BR is for.
Who's in it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The leading role is a female actress.
Okay.
I don't remember her name. I just kind of read the synopsis about what the movie is about. Basically, she moves into like an apartment community, and things are not what they seem.
Not what they seem.
Yeah.
You have an unhappy dude there, man. That was just a head nut.
He likes snacks. We're trying to make him some dinner, and he's like, I just want the sweet fruit snacks that are sugary.
Yeah, no, that's the unhappy part of parenting. You're getting to the point now where they don't have enough knowledge and memory base to figure stuff out. So it's like they get mad because, oh God, what was it with Xander once when he was little? I gave him a granola bar, and it broke in half. And he was mad that it broke in half, so I gave him another granola bar, and I was like, I'll just eat the granola bar. I don't care. And I gave him another granola bar, and he was unhappy because I took away his broken granola bar to give him the whole granola bar. What he wanted me to do was somehow fuse them back together and make them a whole. And it's like, but he was like, like at that 2, from how old is Isaiah now? Like 18 months.
18 months.
From like 18 months until like 4, until they get a little more cognitive kind of learning. It's like you can expect those things, and it's like, you know, where it's like, you know, I put his microwave in the dinner, or his dinner in the microwave to heat it up, and you know, he's throwing a fit because the microwave ate his dinner.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
What?
That's the part that is more frustrating to me, especially when it's like, hey, you know, his juice cup is empty, so it's like, okay, and I'll tell him I'll get you more juice, and then I take the cup away from him, and then he's upset. And it's like, no, I'm getting you more. Like, just wait like 2 seconds, and you'll see what I'm doing.
Yeah, but if you had come over to him with a different cup of juice and handed it to him to take the other one away, that wouldn't have been good either.
No, he wants the same cup.
He just wants it magically filled with juice. No,
and later on in life, when they don't want the same cup, they want to dirty up all the dishes all the time. So it doesn't get any better. I'd like to lie to you and tell you, you got a couple of days of this. That's it.
No, this is
so
forever.
Shannon, actually, she had a little life hack that I was extremely impressed by. So we went to Whataburger, and you know, the little kids styrofoam cup, and Isaiah will at some point squeeze the cup and then just destroy it, and then the juice is, you know, whatever, his lemonade is everywhere. So she took we had like a plastic cup, so she took a small plastic cup, poured the lemonade into it, then put the lemonade filled plastic cup inside his styrofoam cup. So now he thinks, oh, it's still the styrofoam. And then he eventually tried to destroy the cup, and he couldn't destroy it.
You married a smart one there.
None the wiser. He had no idea. I was watching her. I was like, what are you doing? And then I was like,
magic.
Oh.
He has mom smarts.
Why did I think of that? Yeah, mom smarts. Exactly.
She has mom smarts.
Yeah.
No,
it's nuts. A couple more things here, and then we can get started on weekends. There's a new Bob Ross version of Monopoly.
Bob Ross, okay.
Yeah, apparently it's supposed to be like the nicest version of Monopoly. Yeah.
Who's
Monopoly's
Bob Ross? It's not
Bob
who
Ross,
painter.
the painter.
Happy Little Trees.
Oh, Bob Ross. I'm thinking of the guy that does the. Okay, never mind. Sorry.
Price is Right. What do you think?
No. What show is that? The roast. That Ross.
Oh.
I don't know.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I can't. Jeffrey Ross.
Jeffrey Ross. There we go.
Yeah.
Sorry, not Bob Ross, the painter.
The other thing I've got here: the House is set to vote on marijuana legalization next month. However, states will still have to vote to legalize it. So, go figure.
I don't think that's going to happen. Well, here's the thing: it has to go to the House, and it may get out of the House, but it won't get out of the Senate.
No.
Not right now.
Not in Texas.
At the very least, what they can do is declassify, because right now it's a Schedule 1 drug. Marijuana is a Schedule 1 drug, which means that it has no value at all whatsoever, including medicinal. That's what a Schedule 1 drug is. Cocaine is a Schedule 2 drug because cocaine is used.
Sorry, did I get excited there?
No, it's fine. Cocaine,
Booger sugar.
Bolivian marching powder. But cocaine is used in like eye surgeries and things like that. It has valid
Coca-Cola.
medical uses.
Yeah.
But they won't. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean maybe they'll declassify it or something.
Yeah. Everybody, like, we all have that group of friends that can't wait for it to be legal. We can't wait. Well, here's the deal. Your job is still going to have to say yes or no, you can do this and come to work. It doesn't matter. Like,
dude, I have enough friends.
I don't know. I just think it's dumb.
Dude, I have enough friends that have jobs. I have enough friends that smoke, that have jobs, that and these are people that are extremely intelligent and work very hard and possibly have medical degrees or degrees in law and things like that. And when what they say is they'd rather smoke than drink because they don't feel like shit the next day. I don't know. Yeah. I've smoked twice in my life. It didn't agree with me. I've never tried, it's one of those things where it was, and I smoked once when I was in like late high school, like junior, senior year, and then I smoked once in my 20s, and it didn't agree with me. It wasn't my thing. I'd rather have booze because I know how to pace myself with booze and all of that stuff. But
yeah.
it's one of those things where they were like, oh yeah, they don't, but it's one of those things. Until I got into my late 30s, early 40s, I never realized how many people smoked and how many people I respect that hold good positions and stuff like that smoke, because it's not, I mean, it's not like the stereotypical fucking burnout that I grew up with. It's not that at all.
Those guys are still out there, but
yeah, those guys are
those
still
people,
out there.
no, those people are still out there, but it's like, you talk to somebody and it's like, what are you doing? Oh, they went to smoke and they'll be back and we're on a Zoom call or whatever. And it's like, everything's cool and everybody laughs and has fun. And then the next day they go to work and doing what they're doing in their professional life.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I was the same way. I've tried it a handful of times, well, more than a handful of times. And while I enjoy it, but at the same time, it's just, I don't know. I enjoy drinking more if I had to choose between the two.
Yes.
Just because
drinking is much more
Wife
social.
agrees too.
Well, yes, wife agrees too. Yeah, and I can handle the booze better than, I know what my limit is with booze. I know what the limit is with booze. And, now with today's stuff that they've got as far as weed goes, it's like, holy cow. Like, I was the point to where I would hang out with friends who were like avid smokers, and they would be like, Alan, just one hit is all you need. Don't do more than that. Like a baby one. And I would still just like, and I'm like way out by Saturn and I can't function because I'm just
Cheap
like,
date.
this is way too much. How do you guys function on this? So,
well, they get everybody has a different tolerance and stuff like that. But for me, it's not a fun, I didn't have a fun time on it. So it's like, all right, it's just
not a fun time.
It's not for me. So
college,
and those
fun.
that can is great. He's like, those that can have a great time, go for it. That's great. But I can deal with a little bit of a hangover.
Yeah.
F1 news? Or you got
two more things.
Okay.
Sorry, this is Trader Joe's has pushed back on any changing of its ethnic packaging, and states they will not change it. So basically, with all the stuff like all the Land O'Lakes butter, Aunt Jemima syrup, Uncle Ben's rice, and how people are forcing these companies to change the names of, or change their packaging. Trader Joe's also has their own brand of like Trader Jose for like some of their Mexican beers, and Arabian Joe's. It's not Arabian Joe's. I'm making this up now. But they'll have I don't know, Trader Asia or something for like the whatever beef and broccoli that you can pick up in the frozen section or something. And so now you have a group of people that are like, well, Trader Joe's needs to change all this stuff. The thing that I support as far as Trader Joe's goes, one, they don't have any caricatures. They have zero depictions of a character associated with, Trader Jose. It's just Trader Jose with an acented Q over the E.
Well, that is Jose is Joe, isn't it?
Yeah, Jose is Joe, exactly.
So
yeah.
I don't know.
So the thing that I've seen, the difference with Trader Joe and like other companies like that, it is because I think it's even kind of more respectful, because what they've done is they've taken, for the most part, what Joe would be in a different culture or in a different language, and used that. So Trader Jose would be Trader Joe in English. The other one they have is Trader Giotto for Italian food, which is Trader Joe. Trader Joe-san for Japanese food, which, if what, Alan, you worked with a company that was located in Japan. What did they call you? What did they call you? Alan-san. I was Justin-san. It's not a disrespectful thing. They're kind of paying tribute to that. They're paying tribute to stuff that is different in, to the other cultures, which is fine to me. So
yeah. Last thing
off.
I've got for any cider fans: Austin Eastciders will now ship cider
Insider?
directly to your door. Love cider.
Oh, not Insider.
No,
East cider.
Okay.
That's
You
great.
can if you want to.
I'm not a big Austin East cider fan.
I like some of their ciders. Some of their ciders are pretty good. Others are. I mean,
There's other ciders that I like better.
Yeah. There are other ciders I like better. I'll agree with you there. Yeah.
Is that a
That's all
fruit beer?
the news I got. Apples.
Yes.
I don't know that I've ever had a
Yes,
cider.
it is.
They're all
They're
about
pretty
5%.
good.
So I mean, you're not, going to find anything like super high content.
Maybe we need to go to the cider arcade and kind of
Bishop Cidery.
Bishop, yeah, and then record here there.
Cidercade.
Okay.
Cidercade's fun.
Cidercade is
but
fun.
yeah, no,
Cidercade.
it's I like cider better than beer most of the time. Just
Yeah.
it's more refreshing to me.
It's not as heavy to me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Beer can
And
be
it's
all-
something that's been there for. It's been around forever. You're making beer, but it's just with apples
Apples.
and pears and stuff
Pears,
like
oh
that,
my.
rather than.
Yeah. That's
But
all the
no,
news I
yeah.
got.
All right, so F1 news, guys. They ran at Spa this weekend. Have y'all ever seen that
Hey,
track?
Alan, mute
Oh,
yourself, buddy. It's
I
okay.
thought it was muted. My bad.
No, man, it's fine. We just hear your baby more than we hear you.
Spa. What a beautiful circuit that is. It's in the middle of the woods. It's got some great ups and downs. The not altitude, but the
Elevation
terrain-
changes.
Elevation. Thank you. The turns 18 to 19 and then into 1. What's some really cool racing right there. But yeah, enjoyed. This is probably the most enjoyable racing F1 race that I've seen so far. So, and that is in Stavelot, Belgium. The track is so our spec news is not on a car this week. It's on the circuit because it was awesome. But 4.3 miles around, and the record holder for fastest lap, Bottas, right here, the guy who took second in the race. And look at these top 3 finishers. Does it look familiar as the past 7 races that we've watched for F1? It's just been in a different
it's
order.
the same
but,
dude. Same dudes.
Same 3, yeah. It's just those 2 teams, Red Bull and Mercedes, they've got it going on. Hopefully, maybe next year, Ferrari will be able to catch up with them. Did a little learning this
Wait,
weekend.
I have a question. What different car manufacturers are represented, or different teams are there?
Renault, I know that you got Aston Martin, Mercedes, Ferrari. Those are the ones that I have pulled out right now, but there's a couple more, I think.
What does the Red Bull team drive? Do you know?
Red Bull drives the Aston Martin.
Okay.
I think Honda's got one as well.
I was going to say, I thought Honda was in F1.
Yeah, I think so. I'll take a look at that as well. Give me something to kind of look for.
I
But
do
yeah,
have a question for you as well.
okay.
Out of all the tracks you've seen so far, which one's your favorite?
Spa by far. If you haven't, hang on, I could help us out a little bit. I did a little looking this weekend and kind of prep work. So here's the track. Let me do this as well. We'll touch that so y'all can see. But if you look at turn 1, I can't point because I don't have a pointer. But turn 1 is look. It's almost like a triangle. It's just a crazy.
Oh yeah, down in the bottom left.
Yeah, the
And then-
hair. It's a hairpin. Yeah.
Oof. And then you go back to 18 and 19, coming around that straightaway and then around that corner. It just adds a lot of beauty because then it's uphill up to turn 1, and you can see all the mountains and everything. It's by far my favorite course so far.
Yeah, it looks like the biggest stretch is between 4 and 5, and I bet they had a lot of speed going into 4 and 5.
But so next week they're in Italy, and the Italian Grand Prix is next week, 3.6 mile track, and we'll be looking for that. Couple things as far as I learned this weekend. I think we mentioned this last weekend, and I got it wrong. But the car jacks in F1 are air, and they are part of the car, not in F1, but Indy.
Mm-hmm.
In F1, they are actually the floor jacks. They just pop it up, and then the guy that's driving it moves off to the side, and then when he's ready to go, he just yanks it out real quick. So 2 different styles of Jack and lifting those cars up. But yeah, and then that was it. So looking forward to what we got going on the weekend.
Nice. All right, weekend time. So I'll start. My weekend was super lame. I slept a lot. I don't know why. I don't know. I mean, I was feeling fine. Everything was cool, but like I woke up at 10:30 on Saturday and everything was, just kind of hung out, had some food. And then by 1:30 in the afternoon, I was like, all right, I'm going to take a nap. I'll take a nap for, maybe an hour. Usually hour and a half is my nap. If I'm going to take a nap, that's as long as I'll sleep for. I slept until 6 p.m.
Big old bear.
Like woke up and was like I had to apologize to my wife. I was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't fucking mean to sleep all day. She's like, no, it's fine. You must have needed it or whatever, which is super cool of her to be like, cool about it or whatever. Yesterday, didn't do too much. But it was such a hot weekend. It was so fucking hot. Like it was like Saturday was ridiculously hot. Yeah. And then yesterday was also ridiculously hot. But we didn't really do anything. I watched a movie on HBO called what is it called? Class Action Park, which is a really cool documentary about an amusement park in New Jersey called Action Park. And this place was insane. Yeah, you look like you want to say something, Scott.
Jackass.
Yes.
Yes.
Johnny Knoxville did something.
Did that movie. There's a documentary and a movie. Yes. I have seen. It's awesome.
So, but yeah, I mean, it was like the guy that was in charge, or the guy that owned the place, apparently he made money in the 80s in the stock market, but he had that kind of like crazy, like Wolf of Wall Street crazy guy mentality, and would come up with ideas for rides, and then
rusted steel, then you ride down something, and if it cuts you, it's just a bonus.
It was so in actuality, they had a thing, and it was called the Cannonball, and it was water slides. So there were three kind of themed areas in the park, and so there was Water World, Motor World, and then Alpine World or something like that. And in the water park area, they had it was a slide, and it was built like on a ski resort. That was the whole thing. He wanted to have a ski resort. Dude, it was a slide that went down at like at a greater than 45-degree angle, and you would slide down, and at the very bottom, it was a loop. Oh. It would just shoot you. It would go into a loop. And the way that they tested it, like the first couple of times, what they did is they threw
like potatoes.
They threw dummies down there or whatever. And like the dummies, like the crash test dummies, were coming back with like head off and arms missing and shit like that. So like the people that were building these rides were not engineers at all. Like they were just people building fucking rides.
They were us.
Like, this and whatever. And the way that he trained the way that they tested this is that he went to like all of the staff at the park and was like, I'll give you $100 if you go down it. And so kids were coming down, and they were getting fucked up, and like some people were coming out and their mouths were bleeding and shit was bad. And so it was like something was, things were going wrong. And then other people started going down, and they would have these big gashes on their back.
So now you understand what I said about rusted pieces of metal going down a slide. Hepatitis.
Here's what the gashes were from.
Oh no!
The people that were coming out of the slide with the bloody mouths had lost teeth, and they had embedded themselves in the plastic. So they were slicing themselves up on
Teeth.
teeth.
Why am I laughing?
And it was one of those things, like there were several people
laugh.
that died. Like there were several people that died there, and it was like it wasn't one of those things where it was like a freak accident or something where it was one of those things like people. He had the state of New Jersey to operate the park. He had to have insurance.
I'm gonna have to watch this thing.
So he set up an insurance company in the Cayman Islands that was fake. So people that would get hurt or injured there, they would try to sue him or sue the park or whatever, and he wouldn't settle with them, and he forced everybody to go to trial. And even if they went to trial, they got a settlement against him, he still wouldn't pay. Like the U.S. Marshal's office raided the park several times and went in and took cash because that he owed the families or whatever. I mean, it was insane. And it was one of the, like, they go into like how you only had to be 14 to work there, and you were supposed to be 16 to run the rides, and it was like nobody, like it was the teenagers, and it was in the 80s, and nobody gave a fuck, and it was Jersey, so they were all these like, fuck you pussies for doing it, like if everything about the place was unsafe, and the guy's kind of motto or the way he thought about it was like, if you're gonna like, listen, there's consequences to your action. He tried to make it like it was when you were like in the 60s and 70s when you would go to like a swimming hole and jump off a cliff or do whatever. It was like there was always consequences to your actions. He just,
True story.
but he made rides that did that. But he made rides that did that shit. So you have this
the
like,
man maker.
Well, but like the thing about amusement parks is like it's supposed to be a thrill ride. That's the whole thing. Is like, I'm going to go on this thing and it's going to scare me to death.
Well, yeah.
But I'm not.
I die.
Well, no, but like any kind of like, but like let's take like a Six Flags or a a real amusement park. Like all of these places are gonna, they're gonna, like, it's supposed to scare you, but you're not really in any danger. But this was like, oh no, you're in a lot of danger. Plus they serve like alcohol like nobody's business, and
minors.
There was a ton of underage drinking, and then they would have like they had Motor Park, and that was like, it was like fucking speedboats and little Indy cars and shit like that. So they would go get hammered and send. Yeah, it was.
I gotta watch this thing. It sounds awesome.
It's on HBO. You can see it on HBO Go, and it's called Class Action Park. It was fucking wild.
Class action lawsuits.
Yeah. But no, it was fucking wild. But yeah, that was pretty much what we did. We didn't do a whole lot this weekend. It was too hot to fucking think, and so we just kind of chilled.
Yeah. Okay. So Thursday, for me, we went to check out a new daycare for Isaiah. It's a little bit more expensive than the current place, but it'll be worth it. So we'll see. Friday, I was off. I disassembled most of my intake manifold, trying to get it off the car so I can get through the crankshaft position sensor. Finally got to the crankshaft position sensor. Did not remove the intake manifold. I only needed to remove the intercooler and the throttle body in order to get to the crank position sensor. But whatever. So got to the crankshaft.
I love taking off more parts than I have to replace a part that I need to. So
yeah, because I was like, well, I'll just take the intake manifold off. It'll be fine. And I didn't do the fuel line. But anyway, long story. So I got to the crankshaft position sensor, and then I found out that the part that I got from AutoZone is the wrong fucking part. So I was like, dude, you got to be kidding me. So I had to put it all back together. Crankshaft.
Did they have a delivery service?
No. I just went and picked it up. They had it in stock. So I was like, well, I'm going to go pick it up. And they didn't have a picture online. So was it? No. Let me take that back. AutoZone had a picture online, but the stock part, I can't find a picture of what the stock part actually looks like. I can have, you go on the service bulletin or the manufacturer website, Subaru's website, and they just have those little line drawings. And it looks like this is the part. All right. And then I went to AutoZone, picked it up, looked at it. Yeah, it looks like it should fit there. went to actually put it in the car, and I was like, this is the wrong damn part. You got to be kidding me. So it was only like $24, so it's fine. I have the new crankshaft position sensor. It showed up today. So I put the car back together, and it was fine. Now I'm just driving. I haven't driven it since Sunday, so we'll see.
Does she miss you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet she
I
does.
gotta step away for a second, guys. I'll be
Okay. Friday, we also went to, Shannon and I did some shopping at Rialana. So it is a consignment event that they have twice a year for kids. For kids' clothing, products, shoes, toys, all that stuff. So we end up going there twice a year to get Isaiah a lot of his clothes and toys. It's all like secondhand stuff, secondhand, thirdhand stuff. So it makes it super cheap, because we're buying like shirts for like $3, and we're buying like, gently used toys for like $5 kind of things. He doesn't know the difference. And at the same time, it saves us a lot of money by not having to go buy brand new toys.
Parts.
Yeah, parts. Brand new toys. We spent quite a bit of money there, but it was worth it because he did need a lot of, he needed a lot of stuff. So
I will tell you that
pretty
I used to work on ATMs, and by every Osh by Gosh store, there was always an ATM. And it was about when my daughter was like 1 to 3 years old, and inevitably, if I had that service call on that ATM, that little girl was coming home with a new dress, and those things aren't cheap. For a little piece of material, it was like 50-something bucks. I'm like, are you kidding me? But that was my little girl, and she doesn't even remember that to this day. So I hope when she listens to this podcast or a YouTube channel, she will realize, oh, my dad does love me. I'm sorry, there's a little nerve there.
Yeah. Yeah.
She is 18.
Saturday, yeah. So Friday, Scott, you and I hung out at Union Bear. We had
Big old bear. Uh-oh.
the Ghost beer.
Yes, the ghosts.
It was pretty good. I liked it. Citrusy.
Was that the only one you had? I
Light.
also had
That's
the
the only
West
one I
Coast
had.
IPA as well, the West Coast IPA. By Union Bear.
Okay.
I don't know if I couldn't tell if they had other people's beers or if everything was just theirs.
I think everything was just their beers. I don't think they
Okay.
had anybody else's.
So kind of like, what was the one that, it was kind of like a Chili's, but they did their own beer. It was over
Hey
there
guys,
in
I'm gonna have to
Louisville.
cut my video. My wife
Okay.
is taking her first online class, and we're having
Oh,
bandwidth
Gotcha.
issues. So
gotcha.
I'm gonna cut the video and see if that works.
All right. Saturday was Rudy's in the morning. Had a great message about decisions. I honestly, he got like almost about halfway through, and I was like, man, I should have recorded this. This is an awesome start for a Saturday.
Oh, for Scott, him saying that?
Yeah.
We can bring him on and have him talk about it.
Sure. Hung out with the boy on Saturday while Shannon did a part-time thing at Rialana. So we got in. So the Rialana event, we got in an hour early before like everybody else, before the early people get in. And so hung out with Isaiah, had a nap with him, and after that just kind of like hung out and played around. Then Shannon got home. Went to Costco for tzatziki sauce. The Frisco one is the only location that has tzatziki sauce. No other location does.
What is Faziki sauce?
Tzatziki sauce?
Tzatziki.
It's like
Say-
a
spell that?
tzatziki.
Tzatziki. Okay.
Something or other. I don't remember.
Yeah, I got a
But,
bad hearing for until I was like 37 years old. It was the activity scene and not the nativity scene. And the activity
Oh.
scene. And it makes sense, right? The big activity
Yeah.
happened there. So, being in Texas, it sounds
That's
what is
tzatziki sauce.
tzatziki sauce.
Yeah.
A proud sponsor of this podcast.
Proud sponsor. Yeah.
Yum, tzatziki.
Yeah. So then after that, I did some late night podcast stuff, put it up on YouTube. I think it actually goes up. I think
Were
it
the
should have
hookers
gone up
involved?
yesterday. No, it goes up tonight at 1 a.m.
Oh,
The
okay.
video and the audio for last week. And then I'll be working on YouTube stuff tonight. Sunday, we meant to attend church, but we didn't make it. So we ended up, we meant to attend a different church. Didn't end up making it because little guy was up and kicking us in bed. So we ended up watching this other church online, which was very enjoyable. Cleaned the apartment for a friend's baby shower over here. Then little guy and I went to go hang out with Kevin, and that's where we watched his boys play Fortnite. Apparently his daughters play Fortnite too. They all love it. So they changed a lot of stuff in Fortnite. I was watching them play, and I was like, "Oh, they got this now. They did this thing." And the kids were like schooling me on. They're like, "Yeah, they changed this back in this season. They did this other thing in this season." I'm like, oh, okay. But yeah, that's pretty much the weekend.
Nice, busy little weekend.
Yeah.
Busy little weekend. For me, it was a busy weekend. Had kind of a movie weekend. Friday went to go see Jurassic Park, the original one, at Cinemark. They have their app, their moviegoer app, and I get 3 free welcome back movies. So things like Ghostbusters. We saw The Matrix on one of the tickets. Then Jurassic Park, and I think I may go go see Ghostbusters. I remember that one in there, so I want to go see that one. Anyway,
Original Ghostbusters?
the original one, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, we went and saw the original Ghostbusters back in, I don't know, it was 2 or 3 years ago, whenever like their 20th or 25th anniversary was. And they re-released it in the theaters for like a night or two, and it was so worth it to see it in the theaters. It was really cool.
I would say that the Jurassic Park was pretty cool too. I don't remember seeing it in the theaters. I'm sure I did when it came out back in '93. I think I'm sure I saw it in the theater, but it still holds up. Those dinosaurs still look like dinosaurs. Like I just want to stay out from underneath their feet. And then as you were saying, as I've written here, had a conversation with Alan at the Union Bear and a tasty burger with a West Coast IPA and a Union Bear Ghost. So. This Ghost was pretty tangy, pretty good. I liked it. Yeah. Saturday, Rudy's got to spend some time with the God Squad for those inside jokes there. The God Squad. Saturday workout with James Goodwin. I think he broke me. Sometimes I have a tendency to invite people, and then I try to push them, and then it pushes me, and then so I broke myself. But I was back in there this morning, so not a big deal. But
what'd you guys work out?
So I have this routine. It's kind of a HIIT thing. It starts off with the overhead press, front squat, upright row, bent over row, deadlifts, behind the neck press, and then behind the neck squat. Your first exercise out of that, you do 5, then you go right into the next one. You do 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And so it ends up being like 56 reps in one set. You do lightweight. Your heartbeat is going. You will do some sweating, and then you have enough time to recover when the other person's doing it. And then you're back at it. We did 6 sets, so I really pushed them hard. And then we went upstairs and did a kettlebell workout, or kind of another HIIT for 30 minutes, where we do some kettlebells, some push-ups, some bear crawls, that kind of stuff. So. And I'm having a hard time walking today. So there you go, James. You're welcome. My job is done. After that, got home, went through some marriage counselings. It was some good stuff. We learned that I need to communicate better and tell her what I want. But yeah, so that was my takeaway from marriage counseling. After that, spent a little bit of time on trying to figure out this YouTube channel stuff. Why are the rules not just, hey, here are the rules? I have to dig for them. That research is not good. As I've told you before, I want to get a part for my car. I ordered, it's not the right part. I don't know why I can't research this stuff. It drives me crazy.
Seems to be going around, man. Seems to be going around.
So yeah, Justin, I know that you were a researcher. So if you ever find anything on how we can have videos at the same time, I don't know. I want to learn this stuff. So kind of getting into it.
All right, I can do that.
Right on. Then Saturday night, went with the family. We went to go see the New Mutants, as we had the screening on this channel last weekend of the trailer. Yes, okay, it was different. It was a different kind of feel. It wasn't like your X-Men. We got a heroes and then we got a bad guy. We did have those things, but it was kind of hidden within a kind of a ghost story kind of feel. And yeah, there was a big old bear and everything. So I don't know if I would recommend going to see it or just wait till it comes out. I want to say that when this was supposed to be released last year, they were hesitant because they didn't think it would. They couldn't find a slot for it because they didn't think it would pull that much. I understand. I think this was like the perfect letting that movie release. and made $7 million.
Well,
So
from what I've heard, that movie had been. I want to say it's been ready for like 2.5 years. Like
Mhm.
it's one of those things. Like it's just like the studio itself has like it's been complete and in a can for a long time.
Yep.
And they never released it for whatever reason.
yeah, I don't know what the reason was. I think it's not like one of the best X-Men, but to
Mhm.
come to think about it, that original one was 20 years ago. Can y'all believe that?
Yeah.
We've
No,
known
that's
Wolverine for 20 years.
well.
Uh,
I've known him a little longer,
you
but
know, yeah,
not on the screen.
not on the screen. What did you think about casting for the original X-Men?
I thought it was. I didn't like Holly Berry as Storm.
Okay.
Um, I thought that Hugh Jackman, not knowing, he was a relative unknown at the time, and I thought he made a great Wolverine. I mean, I know he's not, a 5 foot tall, um, little hairy beast badass like the Wolverine really is. I mean, Wolverine looks more like Danny DeVito than Hugh Jackman. At least according to the comics. But I really liked him in it. I liked. I
Xavier.
wasn't a fan of course, Patrick Stewart as Professor X has been the go-to for Professor X since Next Generation came out.
Right.
I didn't like Rogue. I can't remember the actress's name, but she. I mean, I'm used to Rogue being that sweet Southern belle,
Mhm.
I mean that character, and I just didn't get that from her.
No.
But yeah, I mean, it was for what it was to see an X-Men movie done right for the first time. Really, I mean, it was. I was just happy that it was on the screen.
When they said they were going to make the X-Men, who was going to cast in Wolverine, and I remember Danzig being one of the names, or just for fun. That's a pretty good one, I think. I don't know if his acting chops are like, but he definitely had the mutton chops.
Mm-hmm.
Sunday morning, breakfast at the cafe in Frisco. Church I served this weekend, and if y'all are looking to love on some kids, I better be careful with what's going on. If you want to, pour into some kids and show that you love them, we could definitely use some help there. Serve both services, and probably had a total of 50 kids. So 3s and 4s. It's always fun. Got to watch some F1. I figured out. We did a test, or the free week of Hulu TV, live TV. So I actually got to watch F1 in my house. That was kind of cool. Although, Brian, I'm sorry, but yeah, it's still kind of cool to lay around in my socks and watch F1. But yeah, I think I mentioned it earlier. That track, Spa, beautiful, and because it's in the woods, and then the terrain. It's just yeah, y'all got to check it out. Maybe I'll send y'all a picture or something.
Mm-hmm.
That was my weekend as well.
All right,
Very nice.
Sounds good, man. Sorry, I'm texting my sister back. She said present day Houston.
Oh, really?
Present day Houston. Yeah, I'd go with.
I told her the kamikaze.
Yeah,
I said or an oil spill.
That sounds
I'll throw it in there.
horrible.
We'll see. That sounds terrible though. Ugh.
It really sounds gross. Did you tell her what it was?
Yeah, I'm telling her what they are.
What was in an oil spill? I forgot. Oh, the Goldschlager and
Jaeger and Goldschlager.
Well, she is in Houston, so makes sense. Get a little oil spillage in there.
I can't imagine what that tastes like. Jaeger is just one of the nastiest flavors.
It seems like it would look pretty cool, like when you make it.
Yeah,
like it looks awesome. No, I mean like
no, it's not.
Oil,
Here's the thing:
the black
I love
with
licorice.
Like the gold flakes. Like it looks like that'd be pretty cool.
Well, I'm not saying
I love
Twizzlers,
licorice.
but
I love licorice, but I can't stand Jaeger. I've also had very bad.
I time travel on
experiences
Jaeger.
with Jaeger.
I can't do it. Yeah,
So-
time travel.
So a Jaeger bomb is, it's half Jaeger, half Red Bull. It's usually about an ounce of each for the most part. Equal parts. there was a night when I used to run a bar, and we didn't serve Jaeger, but we got a bottle of Jaeger in our liquor order, and so we sent somebody to get Red Bull, and so we were drinking equal parts Jaeger and Red Bull out of a pint glass.
Oof.
So an
Gosh.
8-ounce can of
Why?
Red Bull and
Why?
filling it up. Because we were in our 20s and
Okay.
fucking
Yeah.
indestructible and ran a bar, and I had 3 of them. I did not feel good the next day.
3.
No, that's
Jeez.
just a half of one.
No, I remember having 3. Listen, when we
Yeah.
used to go hard in the paint.
Oh, yeah.
We've slowed down.
I remember many a night with Edward 40 hands.
Yeah. So yeah, we take shots from the top of
I
the
didn't know
key
you
now, but we used
rolled
to go
that
hard in
way,
the paint.
Alan.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
Mickey's, man. That's my
Oh,
jam.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Like the Irish, do you?
Mickey's and OE. That was the
Do they,
ones from
do they
back
look
in
for
the
your
day.
pot of gold? Sorry.
Yeah.
We can see your boy in the background, dude.
Yeah.
He was standing up.
Yeah.
Standing
He's
it
ready.
up.
He's ready for dinner.
Right on.
All right.
So, break.
Yep.
Let's
We'll
take a
take a
break.
break right here. This podcast is brought to you by Costco and Kirkland Signature Drinks.
Yes, also Netflix, because why not Netflix?
Yes.
Why not?
All right. I don't even know how to do it.
Zoom
It's
effects.
changing the backgrounds. I don't have all that stuff. Oh, nothing's wrong with my background.
Yeah, she should be okay with your background. Why would she have married you?
That's right.
I got a background, baby. I'm sorry. That was my deep voice character.
Yeah.
It's not as good as Hans.
Hans will be back. And we are back, everybody, from our break. This is
Yeah.
Hans.
Yeah, Hans.
Come on,
All
break.
right.
This is great.
Everything is okay. Everybody having good time. That's wonderful.
Everything is not okay.
Everything is not okay. No, everything is not okay.
No,
So-
everything is not okay. The whole Washington shooter and what's up with sex trafficking? What the hell is going on? You've got like pedophiles are like on the rampage right now. You've got sex trafficking going on everywhere. I've heard so many stories.
I don't think that's a good time for the bunny.
I don't think that's not a good time for the buddy.
Sorry.
Hey, silly rabbit, tricks are for kids. But like, I've heard so many stories of like women getting followed around like grocery stores, and just weird interactions with creepy
I thought we
dudes.
mentioned it that 75 and I'm not 75, but 35 and 288 up in Denton. If you look at a map, it's really bright red right there, and really dark red, and it's one of the top darkest reds areas in the nation because of the 35 corridor. They just move up and down that place.
Wait, what does the dark red signify? Sorry.
Kind of like green means good, it's kind of low sex trafficking. Yellow is and
sex
then
trafficking, gotcha.
red is, hey, this is an issue in this area.
Yeah, it's so bizarre. I mean, I guess it's better that it's being reported and not like just we're not hearing about it. But I just think I think it's bizarre that all of a sudden you're hearing that we're seeing a lot more of it or hearing a lot more stories about it. We had a friend of ours that where was she at? Target? Walmart?
Walmart.
She was at Walmart, and yeah, some guy like approached her in a store and was like, hey, I've got a CD for you out in my car. And she's like, yeah, no thanks. I think I'm good. And he's like, no, it's okay. Like, I'll bring it, just come by my car and I'll bring it to you. Or I'll give you the CD. And I don't know exactly how their conversation started, but yeah, just weird things like that. Like, dude.
No, I think that there's two things going on with the sex trafficking kind of stuff. One, it is I think a lot more light is being shown on it right now. Not to say that anybody has that anything is, any kind of sex trafficking or human trafficking, because it's not just sex trafficking. There are people that are being taken from place to place to live basically in indentured servitude, and forced to work in sweatshops and stuff here in the States. It's a horrible situation. But there are, I think this is a direct kind of correlation or backlash of people feeling brave enough to do stuff that they wouldn't have normally done, because kind of like with what we've seen in the last, since Trump has been elected, at least from my purview, where people have been like coming out of the woodwork saying, racism is on the rise, especially like vocally, or you had, years ago, you had those, those people that were marching up and down with tiki torches, these far right people. And I'm not saying that it's all far right people, but I think that it is because this I'm going to do what I want to freedom kind of a thing has just made it a horror, made it a really, people are much more willing to speak out on stuff,
Yeah, I would agree.
Well, and it's also one of those things where people are trying to say, where there is, where people are having like how, and at least at the very least, there's scientific backing with people who are transgender and where it's coming from, that, that they identify as a woman or identify as a man, not the sex that they were necessarily born with. But there are people now saying that they identify as a child and not as and not as an adult. And it's, and it's things like that are,
sorry,
we're not judging.
Absolutely, that are absolutely sickening and absolutely horrible, because it's one of those things where, yes, we do have to, we have to protect our children. We have to protect people that are that way. But I think there's a lot of mixed messages out there where people are trying to appropriate what is truly righteous indignation about things versus versus trying to make things fit their narrative. It's one of those things, like I started seeing like all the sex trafficking stuff on Facebook, maybe much more, maybe about a month ago. And everything that I was seeing it for was for, everyone I was seeing it from was, 90% of it was from people that I know that are far right leaning. And I think that it was one of those things where it's like, it's not that an issue that doesn't necessarily deserve attention, but I think it's one of those where it's trying to take attention away from other things that are in the media and that are getting attention, like racial tensions and things like that. Not saying that's not valid, not saying that it doesn't deserve attention at all whatsoever, but I think it's strange that the people I am seeing this from are just one side of the spectrum. It's not from the other side of this. It's not something from everywhere that's coming out of it,
Yeah. So Scott, talk about this graphic you shared with us here.
So I was just going through stuff while we were talking about it, and it looked, just trying to find the stats of what sex trafficking or the sex trafficking looks like. And there was some myths a while ago, but the map that I showed just a second ago, that was kind of what I was talking about, the hot spots. And it's usually during, really crowded areas, but involvement, victims and recruiters, 80% of the victims are women and girls, which I don't know. It's hard to even think about that. I got a daughter, so. And 12 and 14 is the average age, and 12 to 14 years old.
That's disgusting. Yeah.
42% of the recruiters are women. What was I watching? We were watching Kingdom, and it wasn't about sex trafficking, but it was about videos, where you can go to, there's websites you can go to. I don't know which ones they would be, but you can pick videos and watch women do things, and you can pay them to do things. And watching this movie, which wasn't really, it didn't focus on that, but it did make you think, or made me think. It's like, wow, it's not just these girls are wanting to do this. There's usually some type of pimp that runs a household of girls and puts them on video like that. And I don't know, it's just disturbing. Gave me a whole nother way of looking at it. I never, those videos, those websites you think are victimless crimes, but yeah, no, a lot of times it's not that way. So
yeah. Yeah, it's crazy stuff. Crazy stuff.
No, it's absolutely horrible. I don't know how. Shit, dude, I'm a problem solver. I don't know how to solve this problem. It's a really scary thing to deal with, and it's a really scary. It's something that's just absolutely horrible. But it's one of those things, and it's a very strange thing to look at, just like how the world is and how the world is built. And the world is built on the back of people that, for the all intent and purposes, are paid very little to do a lot of work. You can see it. I mean, what was Alan, you'll remember, what's the company in China?
Which company in China?
The one that got in trouble with Apple, or it came out that they were doing Foxconn.
Foxconn, yeah, that makes the iPhones.
Yeah, like how bad it was in there, and those people basically live in indentured servitude. And it was so bad there, people were killing themselves to get out of it. What did they do? They put up nets outside of the windows, so you couldn't. People couldn't jump to their deaths.
Yeah.
It's a really, and it's weird because that's the way the world has been the majority of human existence. I mean, it's not a
new thing.
It's not a new thing. It's just the fact that,
I was watching a Real Sports show. It was, with Bryant Gumbel. A couple years back, and a lot of the stadiums in Asia and India in particular were built by slaves. So owning Indians, putting them in this housing project, maybe 15 people per 10 by 10 room, maybe not, not, the numbers they're skewed a little bit, I don't remember, but it's something like that. And there's no running water in these buildings, there's no electricity in them, they're just shells. But then every morning they have to get up and go build these stadiums. And it was an interesting story. But yeah, it's how do you fix everything? I don't know.
An asteroid, a great big asteroid.
Aliens.
Well, no, I don't even think it'll be aliens. We'll still have our stuff. So I can't remember what I was watching, but there's a province up in northwestern China that has a group of people that are primarily Muslim. Like their heritage is Muslim. They're all of this stuff, and it's known as. I mean, they've basically turned that place into like huge internment camps. And if you have that heritage, just heritage, you're looked at as a thief and a bad person. That's the propaganda that's been put out there. They will go and they have these people in internment camps, and they conscript them and make them go to different factories and work on stuff. I mean, it's a weird situation. And people that have gotten, it was a thing several weeks ago on Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. Which is kind of a comedy show about whatever, but I mean, it is when he hits on stuff like that, and it's it's the fact that China doesn't want people to basically know what's happening, or they have these videos of people where they're in these internment camps, and people are standing there saying to a camera like, "Oh, I now see the error of my ways, and how what I was doing. I thank the government for making me a better person." Kind of a thing. I mean, it's insane. the fact that these,
Yeah, it is.
that this stuff's happening. I don't know how you fix it other than into the world, basically. I mean,
I'm
if we're
sitting here
going to get it
thinking
going, let's do it.
that as I've gotten older, the world has gotten smaller, but this is just evident, with the sex trafficking that we were talking about, with the just all kinds of slavery right now. The world is a lot bigger than what I thought because, I didn't know about this stuff. It just puts everything in a strange perspective.
Well, and I think it's one of those things where you can't focus on everything so much. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's one of those where at some point in time you have to take a mental break from whatever, and you can't focus on all of the world's problems. And we're not supposed, it's like we're not supposed to know this much stuff about these many things. And to know how heartless and cruel the world can be to people because they can be, it's heartless and cruel, when people are seen as objects and things like that. We should be above that. I would hope that we would be above that at this stage of humanity, but we're not.
It is 2020. You would think we'd have our S together by now.
Yeah, I mean, it can be extremely depressing because, like you're saying, Justin, if you don't take time away to focus on positive stuff and you're just looking at all the negative stuff, that's all you're going to see is negative stuff. I know, like a while back at the, when a lot of the Black Lives Matter stuff was going on, I had a day where I spent just a couple hours on Twitter. And everything, I mean, it was post after post after post of just negativity, more or less. And it put me in a bad spot, put me in a bad mood. And, I ended up posting my opinion on Facebook, which I don't normally do a lot of, but yeah, it did. And, it's one of those things where it's like, you know what? All right, well, I can't be on Twitter. I can't be on Twitter. I can't look at Facebook. Because Facebook is super political.
Let's start Happy Book.
So David Dobrik, I think, is the guy who's trying to create. He's trying to create a social network. I forget what it was called, but basically, you're not allowed. You can't post up selfies. You can only take pictures of other things, like what's going on around you. And with that being said, you can't post them up the same day. You have to wait. I think it's like a 24-hour period before your picture goes up.
Dobrik.
Yeah. So it's almost like it makes you reflect and go, do I really want to post this? Kind of thing. And at the same time, because it's not like, oh, look at how glamorous my life is, and look at this, look at these fancy cars, look at this fancy house that nobody knows, what I had, the pain and trouble, the sacrifices, or
polished life.
People I had to screw over to get here. And so I think we need something like that. I definitely think we need something like that.
One of the things that I was thinking about when, after you've asked me to join in on the podcast, one of the things is that I'm trying to think about how to do and I'm not a journalist, right? But positive news. And that was just kind of the idea. And if it's nothing, like if a dog wasn't saved that day, then, you don't post the bad stuff. But just like you were saying, I'm a firm believer in whatever you look for, you will find, and you just have to be careful what you look for, because it can draw you in. It can be a black hole, or it can be, the most good thing ever. I don't know what I was trying to say there.
No, so if you need a break, if you need that stuff, there is an app that you can download, and it's, there's a thing on Facebook, and it's literally called the Good News Network.
And took my idea.
Bastards. Everything about it is, like like when you watch the news in the evening or whatever, like they'll have one like heartwarming kind of story.
Yeah.
This is all of those from all over the globe. And so it's one of those things where it's like I'll go there and I'll read. If I'll go in, I'll go in there and I'll read stuff, and it's like, So here's a headline that I'm looking at. It's called the Good News Network. Eco-friendly behavior in this Finnish town gets you free cake. So you do certain things, you do that. Kind Teen makes dolls for kids with unique physical characteristics. So if a kid has a missing limb or something, she'll make them a doll that resembles them. Breakthrough for spinal cord injuries and
Hang
dementia.
on. I'm still interested in that first story. I want more details there.
Okay, I can
Sorry.
read it. Sure. One Finnish town is literally helping green-minded citizens eat cake as they reward eco-friendly behavior with various rewards, including free public transport tickets, swims, and yes, cake. A
What is
little north
eco?
of do what?
Echo? What is echo behavior? Is that
Eco-friendly, so eco-friendly.
eco?
eco-friendly.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Um, a little north of Helsinki, the city of Lothi has developed an app tracking the carbon emissions of local residents based on whether they get around by car, public transport, bicycle, or on foot. Residents who volunteer the information in the City Cap app get carbon quota for the week. They have, if they have some of their allowance left over, they get virtual euros to spend on things like bus tickets, bike lights, access to public pools, or coffee and cake at a local cafe. In a city of 120,000, so far 2,000 residents have downloaded the app. The project's research manager told Euronews you can earn up to €2 per week if your travel emissions are really low. But this autumn we intend to increase the price tenfold. So and it goes on from there. But yeah, I mean it's called the Good News Network, and you can just go through and look, and just read stuff like that.
Interesting. I like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, there's another one. High school football team swoops in after a storm leaves paralyzed man's yard in chaos. So they've went in and cleaned this, chopped some wood and got this guy's house fixed up. I mean, it's those
Nice.
kind of things that kind of
Yeah.
help you look on the brighter side of things, and just realize that we're all kind of here in the world, that it's not that everything isn't always chaos. And that's the thing, is that even though we're in a very chaotic time right now, and especially here in America, the fact that we are in the middle of a pandemic that's really not stopping, and it's could have been prevented, and so on and so forth, and other countries that had higher rates in the beginning did things differently than we did, and are recovering, and industry is starting back up. When you look at all of this insanity that we're kind of going through, plus we're in an election year and everything is politically charged, it's nice to know that even if it's not here at home, there's still good things happening out in the world.
Yes, there are.
And at some point, you have to do you just have to go out there and do the best that you can, and try to help other people without hurting anyone. And that's one of the things that I feel that that if you're going to do something, you have to kind of ask yourself, can this hurt anybody? Can what I'm doing hurt somebody? If you want to go to a protest, but if don't stick around after dark and be one of the people that's going to be throwing bottles and causing trouble. If you're not going to do that, don't necessarily have to be out there and be a counter protester and stand against people who are doing things. This is why we have a police force. This is why we have those things, and that's the job that they signed up for. So it's not your responsibility to go out there and protect things that aren't yours just to make yourself known. There's a 17-year-old that's in a lot of trouble right now for doing just that.
Yeah.
So it's a it's a sad situation. So
Yeah, I was gonna say there's on Instagram. I know that there's a page that I follow. I think it's called the Dodo, and it's got a lot of animal related stories
I like
where,
animals.
like, this mother duck had her ducklings trapped in like a storm drain, and like a firefighter or whatever, a group of people happened to be walking, and they overheard like these little ducklings, and so they took the time, an hour or whatever, however long it took them out of their day to rescue these ducklings for this mother duck, or
Mother ducker.
yeah. But it's all these related stories like that, like some guy found a squirrel that had drowned in his pool, or seemingly drowned in his pool.
Yeah, I saw that one.
He did mouth to mouth, and the squirrel ended up living, or a rabbit, I think it was. But yeah, just so it's feel good stories like that I really like, and I enjoy seeing that kind of stuff, because at the end of the day, it kind of makes me think, you know what, we do have a chance. We do have a chance to actually do something different. I saw a story that I thought was actually really cool, where I guess some guys were out hunting, and they had come across a deer that had got caught in the fence, and like it hurt its leg pretty badly.
Easy prey.
Well, yeah. So I mean, but I know that there's a group of people out there that go, well, that's easy shot right there. We'll just put him out of its misery. It's cool. But these hunters were actually like, you know what? And they took the time to actually like, hey, untangle the deer's leg from this fence, and the deer kind of like hung out for a second, like,
Hey.
yeah,
And then they shot him.
No, they didn't shoot him. The deer eventually hobbled off, but it was one of the stories that I thought, like, wow, dude, that's like really awesome. Here you have these guys that are doing exactly what they're supposed to be, like, their intent. They came out to kill deer. That's what they got the camo on, they got the camo with the orange vest and all that stuff, and then they run across. Yeah, they run across a deer who was hurt and tangled up in this, I think it was like a barbed wire fence or something. And they took the time to actually like help him out and save him. And the deer kind of like hung out for a while and was like, hey.
So you can see where I was going with what I was saying after I tell you this story. So I took my daughter to her daycare one day, and there was a butterfly that was stuck on the windshield wiper. Mm-hmm. And so when we got out to the babysitter, I've lifted up the windshield wiper, and Alyssa grabbed the butterfly, and then as she put it in her hand, and she was, making sure it was all right. And as we were walking up there, it's like, okay, you can let it go now. We can't take the butterfly in the house. And as soon as she went like this cat went, fing! Oh, she just bawled. It was so sad.
Yeah.
Cared, and then no, I'm sorry, it wasn't a cat. It was a bird. Just swooping down, just watching. And when that leaves that hand, I'm getting it. So.
Yeah, I think I saw something like that on The Simpsons, one of the Halloween specials, where he was like, he went back in time and pretty much was like, okay, I can't change anything. Kind of thing, where it's terrible, and he saved a fish, and then the fish got eaten by somebody else, by some other animal, and the crocodile got eaten by this thing, and it got run over by this other thing, and he's like, crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do have a movie trailer for you guys.
Okay.
For it.
You ready?
Yeah.
Let's do a little play in here. One of the ones I'm kind of excited about, and I chose this one because it's coming out in just like 3 weeks. So let me know. Here we go. The Boots.
This world is not yet ready for all that you will do. Your time will come, Diana. And everything will be different.
Using lightning instead of the plane, huh?
That's awesome.
Big satellite.
Citizens of the world, I'm here to change your life. Anything you want.
Justin, are you a DC Marvel? What kind of guy are you?
You can have it.
More Marvel than DC, but Batman over everything.
Gotcha.
Diana, lucky you.
Have the DC Universe done anything for you?
I don't want to be like anyone.
Cheetah.
I want to be an apex predator.
Wasn't she on Saturday Night
You've always
Live?
had everything.
Yeah, Kristen Wiig.
People like me have had nothing.
Funny women are sexy.
Now it's my turn. Get used to it.
Especially the leopard print. Big.
I've never been one for rules. The answer is always more. The way I fly, they will never find us.
I forgot
I
to tell
bet.
you.
What?
Radar.
Will they shoot at us?
I always wonder what it'd be like to, live in the 50s and then just be jumped into 2020.
Barbara, what did you do?
Gal Gadot.
I'm not so keen on this one. I figure you are, but you know what? I'm ready to go.
I think we can do better.
Parachute pants?
Yeah.
Who had a pair of
Is
parachute
everybody
pants on
parachute
here? Y'all didn't have.
No.
I was just asking for a friend.
Ah.
No,
That was
I
good.
never
I
had
like it.
parachute pants. No, that'll be good. I'm excited about. Well, Wonder Woman did amazingly in the theaters, and it was a really good movie. So I hope that this lives up to the sequel.
Same director.
I got somebody at the door. Hold on.
Trick or Treat. Yeah, it's still Patty
Trick or Treat.
Jenkins. Chris Pine, and one of the other names that are in this one that I'm really excited about is Pedro Pascal.
Oh yeah, Pedro Pascal. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of his, especially since he was the Viper in Game of Thrones. And then what an epic battle Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, he's the Mandalorian, isn't he?
Yep, he is.
Yeah, he's. God, that show is so good. I've watched it twice now. It's so good.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And it's. Do you find they're long enough, or is it too short? Like, I feel like they could go another 10, 15 minutes on those.
It's one of those things where it's like I wish they were longer, but
I'm good.
but it's one of those where it's like I don't want them to do like I've seen in other stuff where it's like it goes too long and it just doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? Or like let's take like Stranger Things. It's like those seasons need to be like 1 or 2 episodes shorter.
Agreed.
I mean, they're really good and I love them and they're great, but there's always 1 or 2 episodes in there where I'm just like, why are we doing this? We're not following the main story. We're not doing, it's got this weird bottle episode for no damn reason, where it doesn't even give you a lot of, information. So I
Who
don't know.
cares? Her and the dude broke up. Like, why do I care about this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So are either one of y'all Game of Thrones fans? Did y'all watch that?
Yes. I watched all
Yeah.
of
And
them.
the last 2 seasons were horrible, but everybody knows that.
I learned a
but-
lesson when battling someone. You don't dance around their body until they are actually dead. Because like we were talking, Pedro Pascal and the Mountain. That fight
Mhm.
was awesome. And then he got the showboating, get your butt kicked every time. But
Yeah.
Just John off. It's like, dude, just finish him and shut up. Like, why do you have to sit there and make him like tell everybody you murdered her? Like, no, just kill him.
Yeah.
So-
Don't monologue. That's the big, like an
Mhm.
even villain. Like, are you really gonna don't monologue? Just get it over with. It's the super villain rule that every Bond villain had for so long. It was like, what are you doing?
Oh, squirrel. Did you see the squirrel run by? I'm going to have to put a real quick background here pretty soon. But you talk about monologues. If this doesn't really go with the question of the week, it's just another one. We got a bonus question this week.
Sure.
If you were to do a monologue, less than 5 minutes of a scene in a movie or, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
which one would you do? What would be your monologue? And maybe we just save that and y'all can think about it for next week because that is.
Oh
kind
no,
of
I have one right now.
I have one too.
Right on. Look at you guys go.
And anything from Vendetta. Anything from there. I do like the part where he gave his monologue and it was just everything started with the letter V, and I was like, I was like, can he keep going? He's going further. Like, holy shit! Yeah.
Mine is the Superman speech from Kill Bill Volume 2. When Bill is sitting there telling that Superman is the alien, and the way he looks at things through, he's Clark Kent is the mask, and the real person is Superman, but we don't see that. It's what a monologue.
What was that, Hans? You can do that whole scene next week? I'm down
No,
with
Hans
that.
cannot. He is not.
Yeah.
So, hey, this question of this week.
No, well, what's yours, dude? No, what's yours?
What would be my monologue? I don't know why it was that quick of a question. It's not that quick of an answer, but I would probably do something from Gladiator or 300.
Okay. Yeah.
I think we're back down to 300, and right before he takes off talks about taking off the helmet and getting on one knee,
It's
he thinks about
stifling.
stifling, and then
Mhm.
dude, that'd be the scene. That would be
Yeah.
it.
No, that was good. That was good too, because like it was kind of quiet when it was going around it, but I do like how like everything kind of slowed down. And you see him doing all this stuff, and you're like, why is he taking off his helmet? And then it starts to explain, like he takes off the helmet because it narrows his vision. He does this because of this, and it's like,
Yep.
oh,
I might pull that up. I might do that for
Yeah.
you guys one day.
yeah.
All right, so this question of the week: would you rather have Batman's skills, money, equipment, and lifestyle, or end crime around the world for good, but be poor and unnoticed? I'm going to have to go with the skills and equipment and lifestyle, and just to fight crime and to live a kick-ass lifestyle. I don't want to go out poor and unnoticed. Sorry, but that's just me.
Mm.
And I would think with Justin's kind heart and his loving nature that would be him. I don't know. You can answer that question.
Wait, what would be me? That I would do the...
You would do the end.
Nope.
No, really?
Nope.
So you're not as good a person as I thought you were.
Well, here's the thing. Here. It's a double-edged sword.
Mm,
So,
it is.
so ending crime and having world peace and all of that
Noble
stuff
thing. Yes, ending crime and
Is-
having peace.
is great, except that how many people have you put out of work? There are now a ton of people that have no jobs. There's no need for police officers. There's no need for armies. There's no need for,
Weapons
there's-
manufacturers. There's no need for
all of that is all gone now. And also it's one of those things that it's one of the things that people don't really understand. And if you ever get into like a real like apocalyptic kind of situation, the black market is still a marketplace. There is a system of government for trading and things like that that's done underneath everything. And if governments topple and things like that, that black market's not going anywhere. It may be more difficult for them to do business, but it's still the thing that will get things done.
Isaiah.
It can get you or goods or things from point A to point B. So, yeah.
So you're not as good of a person as I thought, but still a deep thinker.
I've never professed to be a good person.
I would have to disagree. Oh, you maybe not a professor. I profess it for you, sir.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just a person. Alan?
Yeah. I don't know. I thought about the whole like world peace thing. I think it'd be awesome because I think at the same time, how much further could we advance whatever it is we're doing, our quest for the stars, finding extraterrestrial life, all that stuff, solving world hunger, all that. And if crime was eliminated, but now that Justin mentions the other piece, the other side of it about how many people are going to be out of work, and now we don't need this, that, and the other thing.
Reallocate them.
Well,
Reallocate them. See what I did there?
I do. What would you reallocate them to?
Well,
I mean,
we were talking
they
about
have
putting people on the moon and those kind of jobs. So deep space travel.
although it would be really cool just to be like
Batman.
Yeah, to be Batman. I get to take my anger out on like bad guys. Listen, I'm
Bat
not going to do
plane.
I'm not going to do the Batman thing and keep them all alive. Like, no. You're dying today. I'm sorry.
I might be shooting some people too.
Yeah. And then
The
of course, I have millions of dollars, and You know, I'm going to take the Lamborghini. Oh yeah, way to be more discreet. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Alfred.
Is he the only superhero without superhero powers, or is he a superhero? Do you have to have superpowers?
No, he's still a
I think he's
hero.
a
He just doesn't
superhero.
have powers.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but well, that's the other thing is that even without all of the resources and money and toys and all of that cool stuff, he's still, at least in the comics and everything, and in culture, he's still the world's greatest detective.
Would you say that he is DC's answer to Iron Man? Because
Yes.
Iron Man
Yes.
is also
Yes.
okay. I was going to say Iron
right.
Man doesn't have superpowers either. He's just extremely intelligent and has a ton of resources.
Yeah, no, he just had living parents.
Yeah.
That's the
That's the
no
difference.
Iron Man. No, Iron Man was definitely Marvel's answer to Batman. Definitely.
Billionaire playboy kind of.
I mean,
Yes.
here's the thing:
Me,
they
I'm a
stole from each
billionaire
other.
playboy.
yeah.
DC
No,
and
I-
Marvel stole from each other like nobody's business.
Yeah.
So I mean, it is what it is.
Shazam, Superman.
Yeah,
wait, those are
Shazam,
the same.
Superman.
Yeah. Yep, that's
Yeah.
Marvel.
Yeah, Marvel. That's Shazam, Superman, Batman, and Iron Man, Darkseid, and Thanos. Those are all. I mean, but who cares? They're good stories.
Yeah. All right, are we all wrapped up here?
I think that's it. It's time to give the outro statement, sir.
All right. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to email us at theweekend@gmail.com. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at A2Z Weekend. You can search for us on YouTube. Just search Weekend A to Z, not Crying Baby.
Search "Crying Baby" and you'll find us.
Yeah, past that, you can go to anchor.fm/A to Z Weekend, where you will find all 11 locations for our podcast, including Spotify. And also in the show notes, what I've been doing for the YouTube links, for those that are interested, I'm actually just putting a direct link to the video in the show notes on Anchor.
Nice.
Anchor.
Nice. All right. Well, guys, we'll see you on the flip flop.
Pow pow.
Welcome to Costco. I love you.